Oh, okay. Welcome. Sorry, my sinus is a bit funky at the moment. Welcome to week 4, Project Viminacium. Geez, where to start? It's been a rough week. Even right now, filming this, I'm a bit. But yeah. I think I pushed myself a bit too much this week, and I didn't take care of myself enough. But I'm not too happy about that because I promised myself that this year the one thing I wanted to make sure I do is take care of myself. And on Saturday, I really should have taken some time for myself and exercise, maybe gone to the gym and stuff, something like that. So I tend to get a bit worked up about this project and everything else I'm doing, that I just want to get it done, and it can backfire a little bit on me, to the point where I just overwork myself and don't give myself enough time for just me. Yeah, so it hasn't unfortunately been the most productive of weeks. I've had to just take a bit of a step back. Just came from a bit of a walk just to get out a little bit. Yeah, look, it can get a bit much, just constantly, pushing and yeah, look, I wouldn't recommend, working on a new album, have one album ready, and working on the promotion of it, and then getting a 3-hour set ready, and working on this new project all at the same time. But it just has to be that way this year. Sorry, because otherwise it's just gonna delay things further, and I don't want that. I don't want to be in a place where I complete the first album, and then because I feel that I just the piano, the drums, etc. It takes time to practice it and all that. So I've had to do that, almost simultaneously as I've been going, working on promoting stuff. The first album. Thankfully, when I worked on the first project, Search for Natural Happiness, I was studying, and I just was able to dedicate 100% onto that project, and I would work any place I could, any 5 minutes I could find, park benches and on bus stops and on trains and in the car. Obviously not while I was driving, but any 5 minutes I could find. But if I get to class early, something like that, or even get up earlier before I had to go somewhere. And that's how I did a good chunk, like 80% of the album on my laptop. So it's crazy what we can do these days on a laptop. But this new project, the project of Viminacium, it took sort of that, and then basically expanded everything out onto live instrumentation. So it's a bit more challenging. You have to have the obviously physical instrument with you to practice. So that's been Yeah, that's been its own sort of challenge because you're constantly, working on stuff like that, and you have to sacrifice a lot to, um, to have the time to practice and keep pushing that forward. So I think that's the biggest challenge, is just you pushing yourself. There's no one to motivate you. There's no one to tell you if you're doing a good job, etc. It's just you. When you get up in the morning, you have to find it in yourself to motivate yourself to push forward. And your purpose, your love for it is what motivates you, drives you forward. Yeah, I guess that this week, yeah, I just sort of just had it at one point. I was just like, I'm done. I was just like, fuck this. Like, this is not life. Like, this isn't like, this can't, years and years of this to, yeah. So I just sort of, I had a bit of a had it moment. Because I guess it's just, it gets just too hard. It just gets a bit overwhelming from time to time. I just get fed up with everything. Yeah. But something in me keeps pushing me, forward. Keeps driving me to push through. And it could be, we could call it determination, we can call it stubbornness. We can call it, a love for something, because you're fighting for what you love. Whatever it might be. I want to see it through. I feel it's important to share it. I feel that this, Search for Natural Happiness, my debut album, and this new project Viminacium, I think it's important that there's something to share there. There's something to give. There's a message. There's this. I feel that it can contribute something positive to the world, to the world of art, music, film, and I guess in some way that drives me, that motivates me to push through when it gets difficult. Progress report on how things have been going. I'm not progressing as quick as I would have hoped on the piano. One element of that is that I'm doing 3 songs and not 1 song. So that obviously adds to the sort of time it's going to take to get it to the level that you need to get it at. Obviously, when you are doing 1 song, and you're able to do X to 3. When you have 3 songs, you can obviously you do it less. And that's challenging because obviously it takes up a good amount of time. It takes up a good amount of time to practice. Then you have to do obviously the vocals. So I think that's the biggest challenge so far. For sort of getting this project and pushing towards the live show. Is that, and getting the piano ready and making sure you know it off by heart, and getting the vocals to sit well, and so that's just still the part that takes up the biggest mental space for me. But thankfully one of the good things that happened this week is that I was able to I think it was Tuesday, I was able to be able to do the piano and the drums and the DJ set and the guitar and everything I also wanted to do practice wise all in one day. So that was really inspiring. I was really happy that I was able to finally be able to do that. I just managed to do that today as well, and I'm hoping that tomorrow I'm going to be able to do that, and then Wednesday and stuff. So that's sort of been the challenge. So I'm just trying to get everything done in that one day and having the mental capacity to be able to do it the next day, the next day, the next day. I've had to really separate things into multiple different days. But what I'm finding is that the piano it's taking less mental space for me, and I don't feel as exhausted after X amount of practice from it. That I'm able to have the space to work on the drums now, work on other elements. So that's probably been the one of the positive sides this week. So that's been really good, but I feel also I've had to fight so much to really get it to that point, and I've had to sort of battle my own demons and stuff like that, my own sort of belief that I could do the piano over the years. That being now in a position where it's sort of taking shape, it's a great amount of relaxation that I feel a bit of sort of the stresses and everything have sort of come to light and just sort of come to full view. I've had to sort of deal with that a little bit this week, a little bit more than a little bit. Yeah, but I think it just comes down to just making sure you take care of yourself and making sure you go to the gym, making sure you go for a walk, making sure you socialize. So that's definitely been the biggest challenge, is finding time, carving that out, and just switching off. When you go out and stuff like that, that's difficult. When you're out, you're still zoned in basically, and you're going out, and you're still, and by the time you switch off, it's like the night's ending and you go home. It's that part's challenging. Just sort of have that mental sort of switch over. That okay, now you're just gonna have fun, socialize, be with friends. But yeah, I mean that's just some of the challenges you have to sort of find a way to sort of cope with in some way. Yeah. I think what I'm realizing is that when I get to a point where it's just too much, I just have to just stop it and go out somewhere, and just not just the approach of just just pushing through and grinding it out. It just isn't working for me anymore. I need to just step back, folks. Like, okay, maybe you need to go to the gym. Maybe you need to go for a walk. Go grab dinner. Just get out a little bit and just change your perspective a little bit on things, and then come back to it. Which is frustrating for me because I just want to get it done. I just want to, okay, let's just get it done and whatever. And I'm finding that this year, especially going into 2025, I'm struggling to sort of have that perspective, and I need to I need to just step away whenever I get to a point where I am just starting to get too much. I'm feeling that pushing through and then just grinding it out, or just just getting it over with, it's sort of past me. And after years and years of it, I'm sort of at the point where I just need to take a step back in that moment and just take care of myself and go do something else, and then just come back. So yeah, just taking sort of mental care of yourself, I think is just gonna be the thing this year. Go and just pushing this project to completion, that's gonna be just, I think, the biggest challenge. I don't think it's gonna be an aspect of, you know, getting everything together and, you know, performing it in X, you know, X time or whatever. I think it's just gonna be, it's gonna be, just gonna be, it's gonna be that, it's gonna be the mental, you know, making sure that, you know, when that time comes and when I know it will come, you know, and then at that point when I'm performing it, that, you know, this project live and sharing what I've, you know, filmed and created over the years for you, it's just gonna be making sure that I'm mentally sane by then as well. That's key. I just don't want to, you know, flip and then there's no point. So yeah. So I think, yeah, making sure you're taking mental care, and if look, it takes, you know, a week or two, a month longer, fine. I just want to, you know, make sure I land safely, and yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I'm no good to anyone. So we don't want that. So yeah, look, I might not be the most inspirational introspection this week, but look, yeah, I just want to take you on the journey a little bit with me for this project, along as we as well as, you know, taking you along for the other projects as well before we do this sort of big push for project Viminacium, because they intertwine with my debut album and this project. But yeah, that's kind of, I would say, mentally sort of the space I'm at. But I think that these give me a bit of a sort of therapy, give me a bit of release to sort of just share some of my thoughts about how things are progressing. Overall, how have the songs been going? Vocally, yeah, like I haven't I haven't progressed as much as I obviously wanted this week. I feel that it's become a lot more relaxed, and that before I forget it, N95 I'm in a good place. It's a summer thing now that it is the one I need to just fine tune, particularly with the different intonations. I'm really hitting the notes. There's certain points when it's like ooh, 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 you know, and making sure that those are really bang on. That's gonna be key. It's one thing to, you know, record it in a studio environment, and you can do individual ones, and you know, you can do it over, you know, 3 hours. But it's different when you want to do one take. So you really want to make sure it's you know, bang on. So yeah, I think overall they're very close. I think that just something just needs a bit more of a push. Stimulus, I didn't practice as much this week, but I've recorded a new take, which I think it's a good improvement on things, trying out some different things. So my nose is a bit stuffy. What else? I mentioned the piano. That's been, you know, yeah, touch and go. And I started incorporating the drums now, so it's been good, sort of, you know, getting the feet back in the groove of things, the hands and everything, getting back in the groove for the drums. I think that I'll have to just focus on one song. I wanted to include immersion as well, but I'll have to, looks like, leave that for later, because there's just too much. There's just too much to do, and it's quite a complex and big song. So I'll have to leave that for a little bit later and just do the one that I have originally planned for the show. And the DJ set. So I'm actually not working on the DJ performance for the project Viminacium. I'm actually working on the live show for the debut album, Search for Unnatu-RUL Happiness, which is a smaller just project in preparation for this project Viminacium. And that's been going well, but it's quite a lengthy performance. Probably gonna clock close to 3 hours. So it's just been about sectioning it off into multiple days, because just doing it all in one day is just, it's gonna just take up all my mental space. So I've had to section off into individual sort of components, and then just sort of practicing and figuring out, okay, what I want to do, how I want to approach it, what songs I want to use, and stuff like that. But overall, I think it's been progressing well, and I'm starting to get comfortable with it, and it's taking up less sort of of my energy. But I feel good about it. I feel that it's starting to take shape. Not at the pace that I obviously wanted at, but every time that I'm doing each section, it's progressing well. So yeah, that's kind of currently where we're at. So it's been that sort of touch and go week, but I feel that over the past few days, the fact that I just decided to not push as much just gave me a bit of a time to sort of relax, and actually this has helped. Discussing just how this week's been, I think it's been almost like a therapy a little bit, just to sort of put this week in the dust and move on. I think that's key. I think that's going to be key to completing this project, is just moving on. And some weeks might not, one week might not be as good, another week might be great. It's just about pushing forward. And once I film this introspection, that's it. That's the week it's been, and we just need to just mentally switch off that week. And okay, no, don't think about it ever again, and just move on. So I think that's gonna be just the mental sort of fortitude that we need to create going forward. And just, yeah, I think this week I want to make sure I go to the gym at least twice. Make sure go out a little bit more, exercise, go for a walk or something like that. That'll be good. What else? I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna record this week's takes, and see. I'm gonna record them and see how I've progressed this week, and hopefully I've been able to go somewhere positively for this week with them, and fingers crossed that this week's a little more productive and we're able to progress a little quicker on things. All right, thanks for joining me for this week's introspection. Enjoy the practice takes for week 4, and hopefully in the next few weeks I'll be able to start sharing a little bit more. I'm looking forward to the moment when I can share the piano when I feel comfortable with them. Just be patient, because these aren't easy for me to share, and this introspection and the practice takes, yeah, they're not easy for me to record and share, but I feel that it's important. I feel that it's important to share with you the process and the journey. All right. Wish me luck. I'll catch you on the other side of week 5. And I can't believe it's already March, so yeah. Well, yeah, already March. Anyway, alright, I'll see you then.